What's up everyone, Dr. Jordan here again, back in the gym as always. I'm here with my guy Drew today. Today I'm gonna be taking you guys through an adjustment that I'm gonna do on him. So rather than just taking you through a workout with me, I'm gonna show you how I help my fellow people in the gym feel better and keep their bodies feeling good. A lot of us feel like when we're doing different workouts, our hips are imbalanced, our shoulders might feel uneven. So I'm gonna show you different ways that I fix those issues for myself and for people that I help out on a day-to-day basis. I got my guy Drew with me here today. As you can see, he's in the gym all the time too. He's got a couple of issues in his shoulders, hips, and lower back that we've been working through. So today I'm just gonna kind of talk to you guys through some of that stuff, how I'm fixing it with him, show you tips for things you can do on your own time. All right, so the spot that I always like to start with people is in the hips and lower back when I'm going through an adjustment. For Drew here, he tells me when he comes in for visits that he always feels like his hips are shifted this way. He feels like his right hip is being pulled forward and his left one is stuck backwards. A lot of times that indicates some dysfunction in our SI joints here. So I'm gonna just walk you through what I typically find with people. So as I palpate through his SI joints here, I'm kind of motion palpating the area. The basis of chiropractic is restoring joint dysfunction. So I'm trying to get that range of motion back into the area. When I press down on his left SI joint here, it feels a little bit more blocky and a little bit more stuck than when I press on this right side here. And the opposite range of motion that we'll assess is posterior glide. So when I come to the front of his hip here and I try to push it backwards, I'm not feeling motion underneath my two fingers here. I feel a lot on this left side though. You might be able to see that in the camera there too. So that's the first adjustment that we're gonna make for him, is to restore that joint dysfunction that he's having in this SI joint. A lot of people that are dealing with issues like sciatica will have issues like this as well. When we have this dysfunction present, we'll start to have like a spasm in our piriformis muscle. That muscle will get really tight and that sits right on top of our sciatic nerve. So that can cause some of that pain and discomfort that you feel radiating down your leg, as well as that L5-S1 disc. That is also the most common cause of sciatica. If you have a disc bulge at that level, that can create that sciatic discomfort that you're having radiating down your leg. So making adjustments to restore that proper function in that area is gonna help you out a ton. First adjustment here is gonna be on his left SI joint. We're trying to get that proper anterior glide back into that area. There it is already, didn't have to do much. A little bit more of a push here, nice and relaxed for me. Good. Go and flip to the other side. There we go. And then we're gonna make the opposite contact on this side. So if on the other side, we were trying to get that anterior glide, on this side, I'm trying to induce that posterior glide. So I'm gonna contact in his ischial tuberosity, right in his glute here, and push backwards that way. Perfect. Didn't have to do much there. I like it. All right, so that feeling that Drew's been having, that his right hip is rotated or stuck forward, we fixed half of it there by getting that joint adjusted and restoring that proper range of motion. Now we got to adjust the muscles a little bit. A lot of times we'll start to have spasms or tightness into our hip flexors when we have that sort of subluxation in the area. So I'm gonna go through and do a little release on his hip flexors. So the way I like to do this is I'll have him bend his leg here. I'll hold it in my arm here, take all the weight off of him. I'm gonna apply a little pressure into his abdomen here, and I'm just trying to release his psoas muscle here. It's kind of deep into his abdomen. Hard muscle to contact, but for most people it's usually either a little painful or ticklish as you press through this area. Good. Perfect. After I'm done with that spot, I'll put his foot flat here, have him keep his leg bent, and then I'm gonna contact the front of his hip. Same thing here, motion back and forth. Now we're working through his rec fem and still a little into his psoas as well. Good. Perfect. Good. And we'll compare the range of motion on each side here. That feels good. That feels much better as well. I like it. You're gonna stay there on your back. We're gonna adjust your mid back now too. Okay, so next piece is my favorite part. This is my favorite adjustment to have done personally. Most people love this adjustment too. It's a big pillow hug. This helps to induce some of that thoracic extension back into our mid back. A lot of us get stuck in this forward flex posture throughout our day. This adjustment helps to reverse the effects of that. A lot of my desk workers, office workers love this adjustment. People who do like a lot of overhead lifts, Olympic lifting, who can't get that proper thoracic extension, this adjustment can help with that. So what you're gonna do is just cross your arms here. Roll you over a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna combine your head here first. So roll you, back down. Woo! There we go, I like it. All right, next piece of the adjustment is gonna be the neck adjustment. Drew also deals with a lot of like right-sided neck tension and discomfort. So getting his neck adjusted helps to alleviate a lot of that discomfort. I'm just gonna walk you through how I do it here. So the first thing that I do, same way as I motion palpated through his lower back, that's what I'm doing here, is just motion palpating through the segments of his neck, seeing what areas feel restricted. When I press on this spot down here at the bottom on the right side, it feels a little tight, like it's not moving like it should be. It might be a little tender for Drew when I press there. So that's what we're gonna correct. I'm just gonna have him turn his head. Little contact here, good. Perfect. And then same thing on the upper cervical spine on this left side here. Good. Little push. That one was ready. All right, so Drew's been dealing with a specific problem for him where he feels like when he's looking at himself in the mirror posing, working out in the gym, he feels like this right shoulder is dipped down and the left trap's a little higher. And he feels like this right shoulder is drifting forward a little bit. That's a common subluxation that we'll get in our right shoulder here, a common joint dysfunction that we'll have. Whenever our shoulder subluxates or even when it dislocates, it goes in this anterior inferior aspect. It's because we don't have a lot of muscle support for it in this area. The primary joint stability for our shoulder comes from our rotator cuff muscles, which run through the back of this area of our shoulder. So what we're gonna do to help him with that issue, I'm gonna do some soft tissue work through his trap and into his levator scap muscle in a second first. But what I wanna do is try and restore some of that posterior glide to his shoulder. We're gonna do a little adjustment to that area. I'm gonna have you bend your arm, relax your elbow into my hand here and just let it rest there. What I'm gonna do is come behind you here and we're trying to induce that posterior glide. So I'm just gonna give your shoulder a little push here. Good. Did it on that first one.
Whoa, that was wild.
Good. So after I do that adjustment to his shoulder, I always kind of like to double check it with this one here. This adjustment also helps to induce that posterior glide to the shoulder joint. It's an easy way to do it. One of my favorite ways to help people with like shoulder impingement issues or consistent clicking and popping in their shoulders. So what you're gonna do is place your hands on your hips just like this. I'll contact here and here. I'm gonna try to pull your elbow forward. I want you to resist, okay? Don't let me pull it forward. Ready? Go ahead. There we go, a little bit more there. And then same thing on this side here. There we go. So there's a little bit left over there. But that should definitely help to restore that posterior glide that's kind of been causing him a little bit of an issue there. The main thing that we have to do after we do any of these adjustments, especially in areas that we're having pain, is stabilize the area. So with Drew, I've been walking him through rotator cuff exercises that he's been doing on a regular basis to help stabilize that area, to strengthen that shoulder joint and get rid of some of that dysfunction that's been going on. So I got a lot of people who complain about being tight in their traps. They feel like they're like walking around like this all day. It's an issue that we're kind of dealing with Drew, where he feels like one side is just a little bit tighter and higher than the other side. One side feels like it's dropped forward. So I'm gonna show you a soft tissue release that I like to do to help alleviate some of that tension and dysfunction that can be present in your trap and levator scap muscles and leading to dysfunction in your shoulder and neck. So it's a little bit of a pin and stretch movement. What I like to do here is I'll take my thumb and just place it right over the insertion point of the trap on your shoulder. With my other hand, I'm gonna grab your arm and just take you through some range of motion while I apply pressure here. It's usually a little tender for most people. I'll tell my patients to let me know if my pressure underneath my thumb is too much. But this is a great way to help start freeing up some of that range of motion into your shoulder and neck and alleviate that tension. Does that feel okay there? Good. Yeah. Good. Solid, man. I appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you found some value from this. Let me know if you have any questions, like, comment, subscribe, all those good things. I'd love to help you out like I did for my guy Drew here. How you feeling today, Drew?
I feel amazing, man. I feel significantly better than when I first came in here. I can't thank you enough for the help, and I look forward to working with you more.
Absolutely, bro.
Oh, boy.